In the fall of 1589, a small town in Germany witnessed a terrifying trial. Peter Stubber, a well-known farmer from Bedburg, was accused of horrible crimes: murder, cannibalism, and something even more shocking. He confessed to owning a magical girdle given to him by the devil that turned him into a vicious creature, a werewolf. As punishment, he was laid on a wheel, and burning pincers were used to pull the flesh off his body. His legs and arms were broken and his head was removed. The body burned to ash. His daughter and mistress were burned to death with his corpse. And Stubber's severed head was spiked on a pole and displayed below a wooden carving of a wolf.
So, what it is that we are going to be taking the time to listen to today. I've always been one that is into folklore. I've always been into that. I've always been into, where does this story originate? How do we even get to where we are today? So what we're going to do is we are going to dive into the origins from all over the world about the story of the werewolf and what different religions and beliefs and cultures all over, how do they see this to be? All right, now, I hope everybody's doing good. I'm doing absolutely fabulous today. Much respect to you all. The time right now is 5:44 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. And I thank everybody so much for tuning in. All right, now. So let's go ahead and see what we have here when it comes to the origins of the werewolf for our first segment out of 3. Let's rock out.
But this wasn't the first time people claimed to turn into wolves. The werewolf story has been around for over 4,000 years, dating back to some of the earliest human writings. So what is it about the werewolf myth that has fascinated us for so long? Where did this myth come from? And what should you do if you ever come face to face with one of these creatures? Welcome to the mysteries of mythology, the werewolf. When I was very young, I repeatedly pestered my parents to let me watch a horror movie. The older children at school had watched the terrifying movies, The Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, and Friday the 13th. It was October. Halloween was fast approaching, and every night I begged my parents to let me stay up and watch one of the scarier horror movies. Finally, one night, my father said, "Okay." My mother wasn't so sure, but I was already on the couch by my father's side. That particular night there was a horror classic, The American Werewolf in London. The protagonist's transformation, the gruesome stretching and contorting of his limbs, was the most frightening thing I had ever seen. The rest of the night was filled with my adolescent screams. The image of the werewolf has prowled through the dark corners of human imagination for centuries, leaving its paw marks on folklore and literature across the entire globe.
Now, one thing that I will say in reference to this right here is this, right? It is absolutely fascinating because I didn't know there were so many different versions of how this story came about. And so what I'm trying to do is I want to look at this and maybe we can just take a glance at this together. And maybe we can go ahead and try to get, let me turn this phone off because, you know, somebody just does not know how to control themselves. Please forgive me. I don't think that they're aware I'm doing a full live show. There we go. Do not disturb. Please forgive me. Okay. So, what we're doing is we're going to see and we're going to take and compound all of the information from these different sides of the globe. We're going to see, how did we come to the story that we have about it? Now, I'll tell you briefly my short story because it's really short. Through science being proven that high tides are generally during what? A full moon. Okay, so the origin story that I'm particularly fond of, right, is the story of how it was more symbolic than physical. It was basically to say, if you notice, like, for example, during a full moon, like what do we say in the city, right? Anybody from the city or just know the world, it's usually more crimes. Crimes go up and everything else. Why? Because the moon controls all liquid gravitational pulls. Like any liquid on Earth, the moon can affect the gravitational structure of it. So it's said that during a high moon, what generally takes place during a high moon is the simple fact of the blood is pumping more. People are more horny. You see what I'm saying? People definitely get more violent.
And I don't give a fuck. And that's what it is. Everybody getting shot.
So we have all of these different things that happen during the full moon. So basically, it was more so the metaphor of man becomes a monster, a beast during a full moon. But apparently, it's a lot deeper than what it is I was even told growing up. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Let's go ahead and keep on going. Respect to you all.
From the deserts of the Middle East to the forests of medieval Europe, the myth of the werewolf has grown to become one of the most popular monsters in the world.
And just a quick question for you yourself. Did you also know that this story has been told all over the world? Like, as far as when they say Middle East, I thought it was some places didn't even believe in such a thing. I know here in Maryland, in Maryland, like the magician, the wizard, we got something called the Bunny Man, and we got something called the Goat Man. And then, of course, a lot of us even know the old Blair Witch, the Blair Witch Project. That's Frederick, Maryland. So, we have our own lores as well. I think I may do something about the Bunny Man and Goat Man. We really used to be scared of the Bunny Man and the Goat Man growing up. Like that was an actual fear of ours, getting snatched up by the Bunny Man or the Goat Man. Let's go.
Evolving with each retelling. So what is it about this beast that seems to resonate with so many of us? And why is it the wolf that is the most recognized of all the were creatures? The fear of humans turning into wild predators isn't limited to Europe or wolves alone. Across the world, many cultures have their own legends of people transforming into dangerous animals. In Africa, there are tales of were hyenas, while in Asia, stories...
Whoa. Hey, has anybody heard that before? I don't think I've actually heard that before. Now hey, Native, you hip, right? I know you hip, Native. That Bunny Man, that was a real thing growing up, bruh. Yeah, you already know the Bunny Man. Let's get it.
Of were-tigers are common. Despite the variety of these myths, the werewolf stands out as the most infamous. Why has the werewolf legend endured and spread so widely? Perhaps it's because these stories tap into a deep-rooted fear of losing one's humanity, of crossing the line between man and beast.
And that's exactly... Now that portrait right there, not the picture itself, that's pretty dope though. I think I want to draw that. But that depiction is more what I was told. It's more metaphorical. It's more so like you turning into like basically what we would call today a savage. All right. So we have to remember where, right? Where as in like where is spelled different. It's man, if I'm not mistaken. Where is man. All right. And then we have wolf. Okay. And basically what that translates into, werewolf really translates into manhunter. Manhunter or hunter of men or manhunter. Forgive me for my mistake. We'll get to it in a minute. Let's go.
Or maybe it's because they offer a glimpse into the darker side of human nature, exploring the thin boundary between civilization and savagery. As we trace the origins of the werewolf myth from ancient times to the present day, We see a creature that, much like the wolf itself, has adapted to survive in the vast landscape of human imagination.
My father once told me, "Son, you see silence? Silence is power."
Long before the first werewolf legends emerged, humans and wolves shared a complex relationship. As far back as 40,000 years ago, during the late Pleistocene era, wolves and humans began to interact more closely.
Thus, how we get the whole origin of dog is man's best friend. So apparently we're getting, okay, so yeah, and it makes sense, you know, before we had shitsadoodles and boxers and stuff, right? Yeah, everything basically looked like a big ass German shepherd. Let's keep on rocking out.
Some wolves, bolder than others, would approach human settlements to scavenge leftover food. These scavengers played a crucial role in early human communities by helping to clear waste that could attract pests and spread diseases. Over time, humans recognized the advantages of domesticating wolves, using them as guards or hunting companions.
All right. Quick little test for you. Out of these three wild dogs, which one would be best suited today if you wanted to have it as a pet? The wolf? The, what is it? The wolf? A jackal? A wolf? A jackal? Or a fox? Wolf, jackal, fox. We'll get back to that in a little bit. Just let it simmer. Let's go.
Ancient people likely observed and respected the wolves' strength, cunning, and loyalty to their pack. Living so closely with such powerful creatures, it's no surprise that early humans started to imagine what it might be like to cross the boundary between man and wolf, to take on the wolf's strength and ferocity. This bond, both cooperative and competitive, laid the foundation for the werewolf myths that would later take shape.
Now, isn't it interesting? Now, let's think about it. Even though it's not spelled that way, we know when we wear something is W-E-A-R. Okay, so we have that. But the werewolf is spelled W-E-R-E, as in, you know, that type of wear. Now, look at him. He's wearing the wolf. Werewolf. Let's keep on going. Interesting. That's just where my mind went. Don't mind me. I'm always going to throw in my little touch, my little taste here and there. What you mean? What you mean depends? See, here you go. Here you go coming in the door. Shout out to the native, man. Shout out to that real serious joint. You know what I'm saying? What you mean? Depends what? You're gonna have to give me more than that, fam. Let's keep on rocking out.
Before the werewolf became a symbol of uncontrollable rage and monstrous transformation, it was often seen as a tragic figure, a victim of a cruel curse. Early stories about werewolves focused on the sadness and longing that came with their transformation. These werewolves weren't evil monsters, but rather human souls trapped in the body of a beast, desperately wishing to return to their true form. One of the earliest examples comes from the Epic of Gilgamesh, written nearly four.
Hey, hold on. Okay, all right. Now let me get my. Okay, but I got my pen and pad. I had no clue. Now we all know about I got a brain fart right now. What's going to come to me? What's the dog demon? The black dog demon. I got it on my daggone thing, and I'm so upset with myself because that's my Anubis. Anubis. God dang, there we go. Anubis. Goodness gracious, boy. Get your shit together. All right. So I know about Anubis. Now, I don't think I've ever heard any stories about werewolves during the time of ancient Egyptian, like this is wow. 2100 BC. Goodness gracious. What we got right here, family? Animals can be equally useful. A fox can serve the same purpose as a not really. Maybe not at the same. Yes, okay, so you're right about that. Yes, there you go, fam. I spoke too soon. Not at the same capacity. That is true. Because of muscle. That's why. But would depend on, yeah, you are right. So for example, if you want the best protector, like, guard dog, definitely wolf. It's the biggest of the three. All right. Now, if you want true companionship, believe it or not, you would go for a jackal. If you want an awesome groundskeeper, like, if you got like farm area, keeping little rodents and stuff, like, oh man, that fox is absolutely phenomenal. Fox are great for keeping rodents and small game out of your property, considering the circumstance and where you live. And most people who keep a fox, they are in those type of environments. All right, y'all, let's go ahead. And the wolf and the fox, obviously, as we all know, would be able to survive in colder climates. That jackal, you better be somewhere like Florida. Let's go.
4,000 years ago, during a conflict with Ishtar, the goddess of love and war, Gilgamesh recalls past relationships, including one with a shepherd who fell deeply in love with Ishtar. To show his devotion, the shepherd left offerings for her at a mountain shrine every day. At first, Ishtar encouraged him, but soon she grew bored and transformed him into a wolf. Tragically, he was torn apart by his own dogs. While there is some debate among scholars about whether the shepherd was transformed into a wolf or another animal, this tale remains one of the oldest known stories of a human being cursed to take on an animal form. These early werewolves are often portrayed as tormented souls, longing to return to their human lives. They might even find redemption if they can prove their humanity or devotion to a higher power.
My father once told me, "Son, you see silence? Silence is power. Never."
In many ancient cultures, warriors believed that by wearing the skins of wolves or other predators, they could absorb the strength and ferocity of these animals.
That most definitely is a part of a lot of Native American, from the wolf, the bear, quite a few. Yeah, most definitely. Eagle feathers, hawk feathers, owl feathers, the whole nine. But you know what? Come to find out, a lot of them didn't do like those feather crowns. How we seen that wasn't really, typical thing. They used feathers for different things, but yeah. Let's just say that the stereotypes are very, very real. Let's get it.
These warriors weren't cursed, but chose to adopt the wolf's guise to empower themselves in battle. Germanic tribes had warriors known as wolf warriors, who wore wolf skins into combat. The Old Norse term ulfhednar, meaning wolf coat, suggests this was a common practice. In the 13th century...
Hold on, y'all. We like to take stuff in. Ulfhednar, okay? Ulfhednar, wolf skin. Ulfhednar, that's Old Norse. Ulfhednar. Old Norse. See, I'll be up here learning right along with y'all, man. We're going to do this together. The time right now is 6:02 p.m. East Coast Standard Time, and I thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you for hanging out with me. Let's rock out.
Century Norse epic, the Völsunga saga, the hero Sigmund and his son Sinfjötli discover two magical wolf pelts in a forest hut. These pelts have the power to transform them into wolves, but they can only be removed after 10 days. In wolf form, the father and son roam the wilderness, embracing the savage instincts of the beasts they've become. However, Sinfjötli, ignoring his father's warnings, kills 11 men and is gravely injured in the process. After the 10 days, they return to human form, horrified by their actions. They burn the cursed pelts, realizing that the line between man and beast is dangerously thin, especially for those who live by the sword. This idea of warriors transforming into wolves also appears in early Greek literature. For instance, in Homer's Iliad and Odyssey, warriors are often compared to wolves or lions, highlighting the brutal nature of battle. These transformations serve as metaphors for the savage instincts necessary to survive in war. Herodotus's Histories provides an even more explicit example, telling of a Baltic tribe, the Nuri, who were believed to transform into wolves for a few days each year. Although Herodotus doubted these transformations, the fact that he recorded the tale shows how widespread and deeply rooted the belief in werewolf warriors was in ancient cultures.
And that's the thing about it that really kind of see, that's the part that sets my mind off into somewhere else. You know, all this time listening to this, I really did think it was something that was primarily just Western. I didn't know that this was something. Now, I'll tell you this. I am aware that vampirism, that's all over. Now that I got more of a understanding of, it's more widespread. I didn't know the werewolf story was everywhere. I kind of thought that was a little more secluded, but apparently it's on all four corners of the globe. Let's keep on going.
Finally, there were stories of werewolves who weren't victims or warriors, but the damned, those cursed as punishment for their violent or immoral deeds. These werewolves were feared and despised, representing the dark side of human nature. At a time when the boundaries between civilization and savagery were precariously thin, the idea that a person could transform into a wolf, one of nature's most fearsome predators, struck a deep chord with ancient societies. This transformation was often seen as a consequence of violating sacred taboos, especially those surrounding cannibalism and murder.
Are you looking for more?
Is the story of King Lycaon of Arcadia, who tested Zeus's omniscience by serving him a meal made from human flesh.
Now we're getting closer into one of my favorite movies, all right? Underworld. So I always wondered, because growing up, we always used to hear werewolf only for the most part, unless you were one who was really into it. I just came to the conclusion that, oh snap, in Underworld, there's something called lichens. Now let's go ahead and let's get into the origin of where the lichen comes from. Respect to the family. The time right now is 6:06 p.m. East Coast Standard Time, and I thank you all so much for tuning in. Let's keep on rocking out.
Some accounts say it was one of Lycaon's own sons. Enraged by this horrific act, Zeus struck Lycaon's children with lightning and transformed Lycaon into a wolf. According to Ovid's Metamorphoses.
Okay, so we say Lycaon. Okay, all right, let's go. Who was an individual, I guess, in Greek mythology. Let's get it.
Lycaon's transformation was particularly gruesome. His arms became legs, his robes turned into shaggy hair, yet he was still Lycaon. The same grayness, the same fierce face, the same red eyes, a picture of bestial savagery. Lycaon wasn't just turned into a wolf. He became a monstrous hybrid forever caught between man and beast. Another example is the story of Demonatus of Parasia, an Olympic boxer who, during the Arcadian sacrifices for the festival of Zeus Lycaeus, tasted the intestines of a human child. As punishment, he was transformed into a wolf for 10 years. Afterward, he returned to human form and competed in the ancient Olympic Games. Had he eaten human flesh in his wolf form again, he would have remained a wolf for the rest of his life. These early depictions of werewolves as victims, warriors, or the damned laid the foundation for the varied mythology that followed, illustrating the complex and often terrifying relationship between man and beast. If you've watched...
And now we are at our final segment of this particular chapter as we get ready to shift off into the animal kingdom. Let's go ahead and keep on rocking out. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. The time right now is 6:06 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. And I thank you all so much for watching. Respect to the family. Let's go.
Watched enough werewolf films, the word lycaon might sound familiar.
Though lycans were fewer in number, the war itself had become more perilous.
The Greek word lykos means wolf, and anthropos means man. Combined, they give us lycanthropy, which translates to wolfman.
Okay. Like I said, we are here to learn and enjoy ourselves. Much respect. Lycanthropy. Wow. That's the whole word. I'm just writing it down, y'all. Okay, I got it. Wolfman syndrome. Goodness gracious. Let's go.
Man syndrome. The term was first used by the 2nd century Greek physician Marcellus to describe men who behaved like wolves and frequented cemeteries. Interestingly, the word werewolf comes from the...
Now, isn't this funny? Isn't this funny? What's the number one thing a no good is called? A no good man. What's he called? A dirty what? A dirty what? Man, the connection when you really get to tapping in. That's funny. That's funny.
Old English words were, meaning man, and wolf, meaning wolf. Some believe that wolf also referred to a hunter, so WereWulf could be translated as man hunter. The werewolf myth taps into some of our deepest fears. These stories aren't just about the terror of being hunted by a beast. They explore the fear of becoming one. Wolves are opportunistic eaters, known to scavenge and sometimes even eat their own kind. This behavior likely contributed to the symbolic link between wolves and cannibalism, reinforcing the idea that those who engaged in such acts were no longer fully human, but had crossed over into the realm of the beast. In the 1st century...
One second. What? Like shit though. Man. All right, y'all. So look, y'all already know what we bring when we over here, right? You know what you better bring, and just in case you forgot, you better bring this with you.
Black Air Force energy.
All right, now. So with that being said, right, what we're going to do is we're going to now take time and we are going to look at animals that real deal come with that energy. Now, the thing about it is that what I love about this particular segment, we're going to take time and we are going to be looking at animals that you never thought really come with that type of yeah. Like that all the way, yeah. Okay, now. So here we go. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take our time and we're going to look at these animals right here that just for whatever reason, like they like to be bullies. So you need to watch it. Let's get it.
Today I found 5 ocean animals that might seem cute and innocent at first glance, but they're all complete and utter batshit crazy psychopaths. First up, we have the dolphin. Now, these intelligent, playful, and graceful sea angels might look cute and innocent, and most people probably think they are. But behind that permanent, rather disturbing grin is pure, unholy madness. Bottlenose dolphins have been observed straight up beating the shit out of porpoises, and not for food, literally just for sport. They'll beat them, ram them at high speed, toss them like flipping rag dolls, then swim off like nothing happened. Now let's talk mating. Now here I have to be rather careful as YouTube. Anyways, male dolphins will form pretty large gangs.
So off rip. Okay, so my bad, y'all. Okay, so off rip, we got narcissistic behavior. Okay. All right. Now I see why they only had Flipper by himself. Narcissistic behavior. Let's keep on rocking up.
gangs. And when they find a female, well, you can probably guess the rest. And if you can't, then you're probably not old enough to understand it anyway. Even more disturbing is that these gang meetings can sometimes last for weeks. Dolphins are also known to be complete substance.
So are they closer to Crip? Because I mean, because everything blue. I don't understand. Like, what's going on? Okay, you know what? Matter of fact, where are my manners? I need to go ahead and hit my daggone disclaimer. Respect to the family. Oh man, we got Crips, GDs in here, and some more shit. Okay, now I didn't know that the Dolphins was going that hard. Let's go ahead and learn some more. Get your pen and pad, get your popcorn, get your little sprinkle bottle water, get your grape juice, your cranberry juice, or your wine, and go ahead and pull up a seat. The time right now is 6:13 p.m. East Coast Standard Time, and I thank you all so much for watching. Respect to the family. Let's go.
Abusers. You see, at some point in time, the dolphins learned that if they gently chew on blowfish, it will release just enough neurotoxin to go on a trip to wherever they want. And they'll even pass around this
Hold on. Hold on. Oh man, I did not. Yo, that is a lot of intelligence. Listen, first of all, I want us to think about something. How many of us knew that we can get high off of bumping our face into a blowfish and start tripping like we back at Woodstock? That is crazy. How do they even know to do that? Like, and then you have to think, if it's something that they continuously do, that means it's a learned behavior that's passed. So that means mama take the kids out and be like, this how you get high. Like, what do we
puffer like it's a gosh darn joint.
Nice.
What I personally find the most disturbing about all of this is the fact that these dolphins are so incredibly intelligent that they pretty much have to know just a little bit how bad some of these actions are. But that's just some speculation on my side. Now, before we continue, these videos...
Now, that's the thing. Now, that's the $1 million question. That's going to be a whole nother live. We will one day, soon, very soon, I'm going to tap into, do animals feel compassion? And yes, we're going to have the very, very controversial live about, do animals go to heaven? That's right. That's right. I got a lot to say about that, but not today. We're going to focus. Let's get it.
Actually take a lot of time and effort to make. So it would mean the world to me if you could leave a like on the video, as well as maybe commenting your thoughts down below at the end. It truly does help out a lot with the algorithm. Anyways, thanks in advance. Next, we have the orcas. You know how they call them killer whales? Well, that's not a nickname. It's literally their job title. Orcas are apex predators with zero natural enemies and zero regard for anything with a pulse. They've got brains, brawn, and a personal vendetta against peace. These guys aren't just strong. They're incredibly smart and strategic. Great white sharks are probably one of the most feared animals in the sea.
Great whites be trying to get the F. Most sharks get the F. Okay. All right. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I think about between the two, they should have switched Jaws and Free Willy. But the only reason why they couldn't is because there is no recorded data of orcas actually attacking humans as many times as we swum with them. Again, look up everything I say behind me. But yeah, so because they're, for some reason, they just know that we're not on their menu for whatever reason. So because of that, and there are such instances of multiple shark attacks, although that's still very, very minuscule. Most sharks don't bother you. But let's go ahead and go.
But orcas treat them like hecking toys. They've even figured out that if you flip a shark upside down, it enters a tonic immobility trance. They also mess with seals, not just to kill, but to entertain themselves. They'll knock seals off ice floes, play catch with them, and yeet them into the heckin' stratosphere. Although this...
Bruh, hold on. Do you see how high? Like, I need you to really think about that. Like, the height that seal is at right now, the very height that seal is at, that's a high diving board. That's a high dive.
off ice floes, play catch with them, and yeet them into the heckin' stratosphere.
That's like half a football field.
Although this behavior does have some validity to it, as it's thought to show the young ones how it's done, but even lone Sigma orcas do it, which means they might just be out here recreationally punting seals for absolutely no reason at all. No humans have ever been actually attacked by these maniacs.
As your boy just said, just want to make sure that we take note on that. I do the best that I can not to give you the wrong information. And if I do, I will stand corrected and I will make sure we correct it. Let's go.
Almost like they've read history and decided to leave us revengeful land apes alone. But lately, they've actually broken the unspoken human-whale treaty and started beef with gosh darn boats. And this is not random attacks. It's definitely on purpose. A pod near Spain figured out how to disable rudders by ramming them repeatedly. And what's even more scary is that other pods started copying them. So now we've pretty much got several coordinated orca gangs out there, sinking yachts like it's a hecking turf war.
What have you...
Not give They know exactly what they're doing, and I'm positive they're enjoying every second of it. But what these crackheads do to whales is on another level of cruelty. You see, just like with the sharks, where they only target the liver, it's not just because it's the most nutritious part of their body, it's also because it's the softest. And for an orca, without any dental insurance whatsoever, it is crucial to avoid wearing down their teeth by eating hard, rough food items. So with large whales, they'll tire them out, following them for hours and ramming into them like the whale owes them money. Then eventually, they'll literally dive into the whale's mouth to rip out and eat the tongue. And that's all.
Oh, shoot, my bad. I was on mute. Maybe they are responding to what humans are. Only thing I have to say to that is...
Wait, you think I didn't think of that? Of course I thought of that.
They take. They'll leave the rest of the whale behind like they just raided the fridge for a gosh darn midnight snack. No cleanup, no guilt, just pure gluttony. Next, we got every penguin's worst nightmare, namely the leopard seal. This thing is pretty much a meat blender with eyes and acts like a precision-built penguin.
I'm sorry. He said a meat blender with eyes.
Assassin. These things are fast, cold, and brutal. And if you're a penguin, this is your final boss. They stalk, waiting at ice edges in perfect silence, then launching out like a torpedo when any penguin is caught lacking. And when they catch something, it gets real messy. They thrash their food side to side in the water to tear it apart. Their jaws are built for ripping, not nibbling. Some leopard seals have even been observed playing with live prey, but it's not really for amusement. It's likely hunting practice, or just the grim reality of taking apart something tough when you don't have arms or claws. Now, unlike the first two, this aquatic bear actually has human blood on its flippers. You see, in 2003, a leopard seal unalived a marine biologist named Kirsty Brown during a dive in Antarctica. It grabbed her by the leg, dragged
Condolences to her family and rest in peace to her. Let's keep on going.
her underwater and held her there until her oxygen supply ran out. But it's a reminder that these things aren't just dangerous to penguins, they're just dangerous.
But look, I want us to really think about something. Again, the intelligence said that it held her underwater. Basically, it just drowned her. How does that seal even know on that encounter, like, I can hold my breath longer than you? How did the seal know all I got to do is drown you? I just, again, let's keep on going.
Dangerous, period. Next, we got the sea otter, which is arguably the most deceptive little in the entire animal kingdom. They got pretty much the whole human species fooled. They float around holding hands, looking all cute and fuzzy while cracking clams on their blasted tummies. But behind those large marble eyes is the soul of a demonic, furry little war criminal.
Otters would gang up on crocodile. Maybe, I don't know if otters would gang up on a whole big ass alligator or crocodile and just crocodiles try to get away from a gang of otters. So it's not about the one, it's the annoying ass multitudes of them. It's just like they're just too many of them, and they yelping and making noises around you, and you can't figure out what the hell to do. You don't know which one to go to. You're trying to go to the one in the front, you got 5 trying to get you from the back and the side and everything else. So they are absolute gang jump his ass masters.
That's why you only get one chance to cross me.
These guys might not be as dangerous as the others mentioned so far, but they are by far the most perverse. Their acts are so heinous, I can barely talk about it on... Not only do they accidentally unalive their partner during overly enthusiastic mating attempts, but the soy boy otters with no game at all have been caught in 4K targeting hecking baby seals, and not for friendship, but for reasons I'm legally not allowed to describe in detail. Let's just say in one case, the otter was observed staying with the expired baby seal's body for multiple days, like some sort of unholy, twisted, aquatic, necro-romantic situation. Anyways, when they're not doing serious crimes against biology, they're still...
Now, I can't swim for but I can float like I'm just like that otter when I'm in the pool. That's right. That's all I can do. I made that clear before. All I can do, all right, I got a mean ass float and I got a vicious doggy paddle. And we was just talking about werewolves. Here we go with that shit again. All right, now let me go ahead and shut up. Let's go.
Cute, you know, if we ignore all that humongously sinister luggage. Lastly, we got the sperm whale. These deep-sea titans actually have the largest brain of any creature to ever exist.
I like that. I didn't know that. You know what I actually thought had the largest brain was the elephant. I don't know if I'm the only one. See, I told you I don't know everything. We're learning together. I actually thought the elephant had the largest brain out of all mammals, because remember, whales are mammals, right? So we got primates, elephants, whales, so on and so forth, all in our category, right? And I don't know how, somehow or another, Jordan Peterson lumped us in with lobsters as well. I'm pretty sure you guys know about that if you're hip. Let's keep on rocking out.
And they use it for one thing, all-out warfare in the darkest abyss. They dive over 6,000 feet into pitch-black ocean trenches where not even light reaches. And they pretty much only do it to throw hands with giant squidwards the size of school buses. No light.
AKA the Architeuthis. The giant squid, aka colossal squid, aka the Architeuthis. Let's get it.
No backup, just pure underwater kaiju level combat. And when they come back up, they're often covered in battle scars and suction cups, like they just fought Cthulhu and won. They even have aerial damage effects, as their sonar clicks are so loud, they can vibrate a diver's lungs and mess with your insides from dozens of meters away. Sperm whales are also massive.
Now, to give you an example of what that's like, has anybody ever been in a car with that friend who got too much damn bass in a car, and it vibrates your chest to the point where it hurts? Have you ever been in somebody's car where the bass was so intense it vibrated your chest to the point it hurt because of the hertz? That's pretty much what you're dealing with.
They weigh more than 50 tons and reach lengths of over 50 feet. With heads that make up a third of their body, and their teeth over 20 centimeters long, each one
don't you worry about that. We going there next. You know about that bass, right? Yeah. So when they said about that click, yeah, we'll be there in a minute. Let's get it.
A biological dagger. Even orcas, the ocean's top bullies, tend to back off when they see a full-grown sperm whale roll up. They hunt in pods, they click like underwater snipers, and they've got scars from deep-sea brawls to prove it. If the ocean had a mafia, these guys would be the silent clicking enforcers, even sleeping. They look tremendously menacing. These deep-sea juggernauts sleep vertically, motionless in the water like eerie floating pillars. Anyways,
All right. All right. Much respect to the family. Now we're going to shift over to our gray category. All right. So now there are a lot of animals that a lot of us aren't even aware exist. There are a lot of animals that a lot of us think were extinct. Right. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to take a look at some things. Right. So let's go ahead and let's get to this chapter right here. Let's see what we got right here, right? Okay, bow. So we're going to go ahead and take this on in. And we're going to take a very, very quick commercial break. And this commercial break is brought to you by Fishing with White Folks. Be careful.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Skills around the corner. Walking on the fighting side of me. That don't look like it. It goes down. It don't. It don't go down.
Robert, it goes down.
No, it don't.
It do go down.
Oh! Don't.
Down here. We're too close. We gotta get out of here.
They say extinction erases species forever, but what happens when lost creatures resurface? From sightings of ancient predators lurking in the wild to the rediscovery of alien-looking marine animals, here are 60 extinct animals caught alive on camera. The giant Chinese paddlefish, once one of the largest freshwater fish, was declared extinct in 2020.
What y'all think? Do y'all think that they caught it and studied it? Or do y'all think they finally caught one and ate it? Or do y'all think C, they caught it, studied it, then ate it? I don't know. You tell me.
Growing over 23 feet long, it roamed the Yangtze River for millions of years. Dam construction and overfishing sealed its fate, leaving only historical records behind. A relic of prehistoric waters, now lost forever to human impact and changing landscapes. A deep diving research group is just doing its routine surveillance when suddenly it catches a glimpse of something astonishing.
Half a dozen have ever been captured on film or video. But
now watch this, right? You all looking at that. How big do you think that is? All right. What you think that's like? Probably about the size of your hand, 2 hands, about what, a foot long? What? But how, size of a fist? What do you think? How big do you think this fish is we're looking at? Let's find out.
By deep diving research vehicles. This little angler, about 9 centimeters long, is named Melanophis.
9 centimeters. That whole fish is only 9 centimeters long. That's it. Centimeters, not even inches. Centimeters.
The black sea devil anglerfish is a deep-sea predator that uses bioluminescent lures. It is found in extreme depths and relies on ambush tactics to capture unsuspecting prey.
It is also known as the black sea devil, and it lives in the deep, dark waters of the Monterey Canyon. We believe that this is the first video footage ever made of this species alive.
A fleeting encounter with one of the ocean's most elusive and haunting predators. After years of research and surveillance, these 2 biologists finally get to film one of the rarest animals ever captured on camera.
I'm sorry, it's going in.
The night parrot is a rare, elusive bird from Australia, once thought extinct. It remains highly mysterious, with few confirmed sightings despite conservation efforts. Proof that patience and persistence can bring even the rarest creatures into view. This couple are out driving in Arizona when suddenly they stop and record after spotting this mind-boggling sight near the road.
I guess 4.
The jackalope is a mythical creature of North American folklore, described as a jackrabbit with antelope-like horns. Tales of its existence persist, but no evidence confirms it. The hoiho, or yellow-eyed penguin, is one of the rarest penguins, found in New Zealand. Unlike most penguins, it prefers solitude and dense coastal forests. Habitat loss and disease threaten its survival, making conservation efforts crucial to preserving this unique species. A reminder that even the most secluded creatures struggle to find refuge in a changing world. Some are still hesitant to believe that birds are related to dinosaurs, but after seeing this species, I'm sure their minds will change. The takahe, a rare flightless bird from New Zealand, thrives in Zealandia, a protected sanctuary. Once thought extinct, conservation efforts have helped its population recover. A living relic, proving that echoes of the prehistoric world still walk among us. The La Palma giant lizard, once thought extinct, is a large reptile native to the Canary Islands. Rediscovered in 2007, it faces threats from habitat loss and predators. Conservation programs aim to protect this rare species and boost its population. Its reappearance is a reminder that some lost creatures may still have a future. What started as a normal day for this person suddenly became exciting after they encountered this. Solenodons are nocturnal, burrowing mammals with venomous bites, and they are found in the Caribbean. Their primitive lineage dates back to the dinosaurs, making them evolutionary relics. A living link to the past, surviving against all odds in an ever-changing world. A tourist enjoying a boat ride immediately pulls out his phone to record this incredible and shocking footage.
Now this is where that grain of salt starts to come into play. Let's see what we got right here.
Some believe the Loch Ness Monster could be a surviving ancient species.
Nope. No. Oh man, nope. Boy, now that was wild. Much respect to the family, much respect to the family. So I'm not going to do that one. I'm not doing no on that one. No. I don't like to touch topics like that too much. I possibly could, but that's just not where I am with things. But what we will do, very briefly, I always wanted to make this quick note of a comparison, so hold on. So we're just going to do a nice little fun fact, okay? Nice little fun fact, just real quick, okay? And this is something that I found out quite some time ago, but you know, it's always like good to just keep your mind refreshed and stay, you know, in tune in the loop with things when it comes to it. So let's go ahead and see what we got right here, right? Respect to the family. So watch this. So we're going to do this right here. I like this. So as we all know, right? We've always been told that basically dogs see in black and white, right? We all know this. We all know that That's the old saying, how dogs see in black and white. Now, let's go ahead and get some scientific update, and let's see exactly what we have here. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. The time right now is 6:38 p.m. East Coast Standard Time, and I thank you all so much for tuning in. Let's rock out.
When comparing what dogs see versus what humans see, there are some fascinating differences due to the structure of each species' eyes. Here's a breakdown. Color vision. Humans have 3 types of color receptors, called cones, that allow us to see a wide range of colors, including red, green, and blue. Dogs only have 2 types of color receptors, which means they are dichromatic. They see shades of blue and yellow but can't distinguish between red and green, which appear as shades of gray or brown to them. So, while humans see a vibrant rainbow, dogs see a more muted version with fewer colors. Detail and sharpness. Humans' eyes are designed to see fine details and sharp images. We have a high concentration of cones in the center of our retinas, giving us excellent visual acuity. Dogs' vision is less sharp than humans. They have fewer cones for detailed vision, making their world appear more blurred. It's estimated that dogs' vision is about 20 by 75, meaning what a human can see clearly from 75 feet, a dog would need to be 20 feet away to see. Field of view. Humans have a more narrow field of view, about 180 degrees, due to the placement of our eyes on the front of our heads. Dogs, depending on their breed, have a wider field of view, about 250 degrees, because their eyes are positioned more on the sides of their heads. This helps them see more of their surroundings without turning their heads. Night vision. Human night vision is relatively poor because we rely more on color vision and bright light to see clearly. Dogs have superior night vision compared to humans.
Now, I would have never guessed that, considering we're thinking we can see great with color, things of that nature. Now look at that. Wow. Now, a lot of that, what that comes from is, don't you know, that glow, when you see that glow at night, when their eyes shimmer. There we go. Let's go.
Their eyes have more rod cells, which detect light, and a special reflective layer called the tapetum lucidum, which helps them see better in low light conditions. This gives them an advantage when it comes to seeing in the dark. Motion detection. Humans are not as sensitive to detecting movement, especially in dim light. Dogs are excellent at detecting movement, even from far away. This makes them great at spotting moving objects in their peripheral vision or in dim light, even if they can't see details as well as we can. Depth perception. Because our eyes are positioned close together at the front of our heads, humans have excellent depth perception, which helps us judge distances. Dogs' eyes are positioned farther apart, so their depth perception isn't as strong as ours. However, their ability to detect motion and see in low light compensates for this. Dogs rely more on their other senses like smell and hearing to interact with the world, while humans depend heavily on sight. So, dogs have a unique advantage in seeing movement and in low light conditions. Don't
My mic is muted.
I digress. My mic is muted.
It's the time of the season when love runs high. In this time, give it to me easy and let me try with pleasured hands to take you in the sun to promised lands, to show you What's your name? Who's your daddy? Is he rich like me? Has he take us anytime to show you what you need to live? Tell it to me slowly. Tell you why I really want to know. It's the time of the season for loving.